garden.
Oh, run!
Hurry!
Being with my kids outdoors is just a really big treat. We're all just a little happier, a little more energized, a little more, focused on each other too. There's just something so special about being outside with them and getting to see them, be their fullest person, right? Their fullest little girl, and really just allowing them to create and be confident. The lone wolf over here. What are you guys supposed to be?
Wolves. Coyotes.
Coyotes. It's just like a really free and liberating feeling as a mother to be able to see my little girls and experience that through nature and the outdoors.
Chelsea Murphy, she found herself in Leavenworth. She lives out there with her 2 kids, her husband, and her mission really is about reclaiming the outdoors and normalizing Black women, Black people being in the outdoors. So we are here in Leavenworth. What brings a Black person to this town?
Yeah, that's a great question. My husband grew up in Leavenworth. We moved here after my daughter was born.
I love that so much of the outdoors for you is tied to becoming a mother and wanting something better, something more joyful for your kids.
My motto is 30 minutes outside every day. It's okay to just be outside, right? There is no one holding this standard of outdoorsy over your head. I just want them to recognize nature as their second home. It's a really beautiful thing, understanding that myself, my husband, my daughters, are all just happier outside. So it's why not go if we have access, right? And that's just what I want for more Black people.
I know that a big part of your work is about normalizing Black people, Black women in the outdoors. Can you tell me more about that? When and how did this go from your own personal experience to work and something bigger?
I was just in this space where I want to start talking about the things that we talk about, behind closed doors in our families, how there's just a huge lack of diversity in the outdoors. There's a huge lack of diversity and accountability in the outdoor industry. And I was I'm just gonna start talking about how I grew up with this narrative that Black people don't hike. But here I am, clearly, hiking and doing all of these things. And I know that I can't be the only one. And then all of a sudden, I started getting this, I also am the only Black girl in my mountain town, but I do love to snowboard and I enjoy hiking and I fish all the time. And all of these really amazing and really rad men and women that were you're not alone. I had this really quaint community and this network of other Black moms, women of color who are also just engaging with the outdoors and getting their children out and getting them involved as well.
She Colors Nature, how did you come up with that?
Kind of a play on words where, thinking of colored folk, right? That's something that we don't say anymore. We don't use that anymore, but almost just taking that back and giving life and breathing power into that. So that's where I was She Colors Nature. That's a play on both that word and also, when I go outdoors, I literally feel I am putting color into nature and the outdoors where there isn't any.
Tell me about Expedition Reclamation and how do you see yourself reclaiming space?
Yeah, Expedition Reclamation is a film that weaves the stories of 12 different Black, Indigenous, and women of color. And so our stories are about, liberation and reclamation and finding belonging in the outdoors and just understanding that there is no one way of getting outside. And then that this word outdoorsy is really restricting and binding us to a certain way of viewing like who gets outside and how they get outside. We are here and we've been here, our ancestors have been here, and it is like truly inherent in all of us to just be outside in whatever way possible.
So despite all of the reasons why you might not show up in the outdoors, like dangerous people or people who might have bad intentions with you, like you still show up and find joy. Like what keeps you going?
I really try and just make sure that like my faith is what stands out over my anxieties, over dangerous things. There's enough barriers and things stacked up against Black women getting outdoors, especially with kids and young girls.
What is your hope for them? Like, what do you hope all of this teaches them?
I really am excited to, raise kids that are confident and comfortable in the outdoors, and that they don't have, this inability to see themselves in those spaces, because it is so important to see people that you love and people that look like you really dreaming big, creating room for you to continue to grow and to exist in spaces and things that maybe you never saw yourself doing. Reclaiming space in the outdoors has a lot to do with just this idea that you belong somewhere. It's a feeling, it's just understanding that people that looked like you weren't capable of just existing in these spaces, and recognizing how far we've come and how much farther we can go, and just really feeling like you are a part of that space.
I love reclaiming is a feeling.
Yeah, it is a big feeling. Nobody can ever take that away from me.
Hear more about this episode on the Out and Back with Alison, Mariella, Désir podcast. Just search Out and Back wherever you listen.
Fleet Feet is on a mission to inspire the runner in everyone and is proud to sponsor Crosscuts Out and Back with Alison, Mariella, Désir.